Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Photography has got some reality in it. The reality which is so subtle that it becomes more real than real. It helps us to capture those moments which we might forget in the future. It helps us capture those breathtaking moments which we feel is like, this is the first and last time I'm going to witness it. Now, one such things helped me pursue photography as a skill. I was passing by a train. I was traveling to I was doing my engineering, and from my hometown I was traveling to my place where I did my engineering. Back then, the train, because of Indian trains, we know how good they are. Indian trains, we know how good they are. And there was some signal or there were some issues where the train stopped near one of the places, beside which I could see a school playground. It was a great sight because there were kids playing around in that. And suddenly a train passed by. And when you know when there is a train that passes by, when you're sitting in the train, that you are put in a state of inertia, you get that feel of fear, or there is some scared feel that you actually inculcate, so that the train passes beside you. And that gave me a jolt, and I was literally shocked to see what exactly happened. And then I see a few kids playing, and it started drizzling. Such a beautiful moment it was, that kids playing, leaving all the thoughts behind. They feel that there is no world to them. The world that means to them is their playground and the game that they're playing. It was so philosophical to me that I felt, oh, I should have captured this, because maybe in another couple of days, once I get to my real life, I might forget this. Things like this actually motivated me to do photography. But for this, I had to buy a camera. Now, before buying a camera, I had to learn the basics of camera. Now, because the topic is research, I do not want to make it look more philosophical. I do not want to narrate a story, but I'll more concentrate on the research aspect of it. Now, for any photography, for any picture that you take, for that matter, I'll ask a question, because that will give me more points. How many of you use mobile camera here? Great. How many of you own a DSLR here? Good. We have one. Auto clicks or manual clicks? Both. Well, the four important aspects of photography, the first thing, you own a DSLR, right? This is joke, okay? Please laugh. Don't make me. And the second most important thing is you own a Facebook page, right? Where you post your photos. And the third most important thing is the photo of you, not on Instagram, the photo of you holding the camera and someone else clicking a picture of you, right? The third most important thing. And the fourth most important aspect is randomly click some poor beggar or some stone or some flying bird, which might also be a crow, right? Photoshop it and post it. No, definitely not. Okay, there are people who do this, like, no offense. But for me, like, the most important four aspects of photography is the one that I'm going to speak now. The first most important thing is exposure. Now, say I'm clicking Athar's photo at this point in time, right? The first thing I see, how much Athar face is exposed to light. Or I'm clicking a photo of this camera, I see how much light or how much this object is being exposed to light. The most important aspect of any picture, any photographer, is he sees how much light does the object that he is going to click has. First most important thing. This itself is called exposure. Now, the second most important thing, you're holding a camera, right? Now I'll use this as an example. I don't know if it is visible. There are two cameras here, right? Now these two cameras will have two holes, which are in octagonal shape. Now, that is called aperture. Now what exactly aperture is? You set an aperture which is of 1 by 22, right? 1 divided by 22, that is a very small hole. So you allow very little light to pass through the hole. And you keep it as 5.6, you allow a little more light to pass through the lens. Now the aperture based on your camera depends from 3.2 or 1.8 till 22 and 24, 1 by 22 and 1 by 24. So basically aperture is nothing but how much hole you create to the lens or to the mirror that you have placed in front of your camera, so that the light comes into your image. Second most important thing. The third most important aspect for me is the shutter speed. Right? Now say you're clicking something which is of very high speed or very high motion. Now say a bird is flying, as I previously told, people click pictures of bird flying, right? Now say a crow is flying, right? At 60 miles per hour. How do you click it? Now if I have a shutter speed which is of 1 second per one click, then I cannot capture it. Now for example, if it is of 1 by 340 or 1 by 600, then you can capture it. So shutter speed basically defines, right, how fast the object is moving and how much do you want to capture it at that point in time. Now if it is moving here, I click it from here, at that point in time I'll have to click it so that the image doesn't get blurred up. And the fourth most important aspect is ISO. Now ISO is nothing but the hardware setting that you do, which indirectly sends a message to the camera hardware saying this much light that the picture should be captured for. Now if I'm capturing it in a very bright light at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then what I do, I go for lower ISOs. Now if I'm capturing it at night times where I literally have very dim lights, then I go for little higher ISOs, say 640 or say 900 or 3200, depends on the light. So these are the four important aspects of photography. The first one is, second one is
lens weightage.
Yeah, aperture. Third one is, fourth one is,
ISO.
OT.